Welcome to Plant-Based on Fire, the podcast that ignites your passion for plant-based businesses. Real Men Eat Plants is proud to host this show, where we shine a spotlight on the latest and greatest plant-based companies making waves in the industry. From startups to established brands, we'll explore what sets these businesses apart, what challenges they've faced, and what their vision for a more sustainable and ethical food future looks like. So if you're hungry for some fresh insights, inspiring stories, and a healthy dose of entrepreneurial spirit, then join us on Plant-Based on Fire, brought to you by Real Men Eat Plants.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plant-Based on Fire podcast. I'm your host, Brian, today, and today we are joined by the amazing Dr. Monique May with Physician in the Kitchen. So I'll try to do your introduction a little justice and turn it over for you to expand on that. But Dr. Monique is a board-certified and licensed family physician with over 20 years of clinical experience. She's also a two-time Amazon best-selling author of her books, Meal Masters and Doc Fix My Plate, Physician in the Kitchen's prescriptions for your healthy meal makeover. She's well known for her kitchen skills, and Dr. Monique hails from New York City and is hanging out with me in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. So, Dr. Monique, anything else you'd add on that amazing background that you have here?
Thank you, first of all, Brian. Thank you so much for having me. What can I say? You said did you say I'm from New York? I'm a New Yorker. Have called North Carolina home. Love to travel. Obviously, love to cook. My son just finished his freshman year of college, and I've got some amazing trips coming up in the next few months. So, what else do people need to know?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a fellow New Yorker as well. I actually moved to Florida for a little while, and so now I guess I'm a halfbacker, right? So
There you go.
anyway, it's great to hang out with you for a few minutes today and talk about it.
Thank
So
you.
I know you kind of got a little bit of everything going on in this plant-based world that we're living in here. So you are practicing right now and doing a couple other projects. How do you divide the time up here?
Well, I don't practice anymore. I practiced clinically for 20 years, and now
Okay.
I crossed over to the dark side. I'm on the administrative insurance side now.
Ah, okay.
So that's my full-time job right now. But yeah, I do my full-time job, and then I do my other full-time job, which is working on my brand, Physician in the Kitchen.
That's awesome. Well, I think we should do a whole separate speaking panel on how us plant-basers have to infiltrate in a big way all the corporate corporate fiefdoms. But tell us more about Physician in the Kitchen on that front, and it's something to do with Worcestershire sauce. Tell us more about that too.
Oh yeah, so Physician in the Kitchen is my brand. It's actually trademarked, and it really is just the combination of my two passions, which is as a physician, I coached and told people or made suggestions on how they could live and live healthier lives, and then I also like to cook, and I like to cook healthy, delicious food. So, um, I'm always in my kitchen. If I'm not, out doing something else, I'm in my kitchen, which is my lab, I call it. And so one day, Physician in the Kitchen just kind of stuck. And so, yeah, I use my grandmother was a big influence on me. Happy, Mother's Day we just had recently. So to all the mothers out there. But yeah, my grandmother was a big influence. She was in Alabama. I was in New York. But even before FaceTime and all that, we were very close. We stayed in touch. And I actually lost her at an early age, only age 67, to complications of high blood pressure and smoking. And so that's really infused my approach to medicine. And again, wanting to help people enjoy comfort foods. Um, in a healthier way, right? And so I like to think I carry a little bit of her with me, and what I do. And so, yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell.
No, that's a great background, and sorry for your loss on that. But I think it's so interesting. I don't think of Worcestershire sauce as vegan in any way, shape, or form. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, and so I bought a little bottle here for show and tell, right? So this is
Nice.
what it looks like. So yeah, so pop quiz for your listeners. Why is Worcestershire sauce not vegan? Like who, why is it not vegan? Why is this even a thing? Why are we even talking about this?
Yeah, I don't know. I just assumed it's got some sort of milk product in it, or maybe even some secret fish sauce or something like that. I don't know. I just don't think of it as vegan, right? So,
Right, yeah. Well, I used to host a show on Facebook called Veganish, and one of the segments I used to do on there was called Vegan or Nah. And so I started off by just going through my refrigerator and looking at condiments, and seeing, hey, what's really good? You don't really think about this. And I'll transition. Let me just give you a little bit of my personal story. I turned 50 in 2020. So what
mhm.
else happened in 2020?
Small pandemic thing.
Something, yeah, world shut down, no big deal.
Yeah.
So that really, if that doesn't make you take stock of your life, I don't know what will. And so I said, I want to become a little more plant-based. I've never been a real big red meat eater. So that wasn't a big thing for me. But just, reading and watching documentaries and things, it really starts to make you wonder about the food supply.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, well, let me give this thing a try. So I started with my refrigerator, right? And I just went in there and kind of looked at the labels on some of the condiments I had. And I was like, oh my God, high fructose corn syrup and this
And
and that
everything. And
and
everything.
everything, right? And
Yeah.
barbecue sauce and so forth. So I came across the Worcestershire sauce and it has anchovies. So to answer the question, yes, it has fish, it has
Yeah.
anchovies in it. Um, which, if you're completely plant-based, you don't want to eat. So, and people may not know this, some people have fish allergies. And
Mm-hmm.
the way that they may manifest this is when they eat Caesar salad,
Mm-hmm.
because Caesar salad dressing is made with anchovies.
That's right.
And so I just was like, well, what if I made up a recipe that doesn't have anchovies in it? So that's kind of how the sauce was made. That's how my recipe came to be. Um, but yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to start with that because ultimately I want to have a line of physician in the kitchen condiments. And I figured, why not start with the one that's the most difficult to say? Everything else, everybody can say ketchup, right? What's what's
Yeah.
the what's the challenge in that?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Well, I think we have to get you in touch with Heinz because it's very, very hard to find a ketchup nowadays that doesn't have the high fructose corn syrup in it, is what I
It
think.
is. It
Yeah.
is. You got to look for it for sure.
Yeah. Well, it is Worcestershire sauce. I don't know. I have trouble saying it as well, and I have sampled it a few times with you, and it is absolutely delicious. So
You know,
I can't say enough good things about it. I encourage you to everybody who's listening to reach out and grab a bottle and try it and impress your friends with a very unique and wonderful flavor that
thank
if
you.
you have never been a meat eater or you have and you forget what that tastes like, it does, in my opinion, bring back a lot of memories of some stuff I used to have. So tell us more about the ingredients. Like, where are you sourcing them, and are they non-GMO and all that kind of stuff?
So yeah, so right now it's purely, this is a family run business. So right now I
Yeah.
make it in my kitchen. But yeah, the ingredients are organic. And instead of using let me just kind of back up. So the anchovies give it that kind of salty, umami kind of
Hmm.
meaty taste. And so to replace that, I use miso, which is a soy product.
Okay.
And my formulation is actually lower in sodium than some of the leading low sodium market leader, Worcestershire. Now I can't say it. Worcestershire sauce is on the market. But you can always say W for short, W sauce
Yeah.
for short. But it is a tongue twister. But yeah, so the ingredients I use are vegan. They're not necessarily GMO, but they're ingredients that really shouldn't be, like the miso isn't really something I would think would be GMO.
Yeah.
And so I just use it's really the spices like the onion, garlic, so forth.
Hmm.
Just those things that give you that flavor bomb, that umami flavor bomb that you can use in soups, in salad dressings, your plant-based burgers, right? Like you said,
Hmm.
if you really want to recapture some of that meaty taste, it can be used pretty much anywhere you would use a condiment that you want to just bump your flavor up. And then a little bit goes a long way. You don't need a lot to get that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think I can't imagine that like such a little flavor burst to some salads and stuff. But you've got an amazing cookbook that kind of goes along with it to a degree and stuff. But what is your favorite recipe from that where you add the W sauce on it?
The W sauce, I would have to say probably my mm, my barbecue sauce. You can totally use it in that. I actually have a plant-based rib recipe in there
Okay.
that you can use it on. Um, Probably some chili, things like that. So there's a lot that I have that I've used. I actually mushrooms. One of my favorite things to use it on is sautéed mushrooms.
Okay.
You go ahead and you saute them, and as they're finishing up, hit them with a little bit of the sauce, and it really bumps that flavor up.
Yeah, I just did some on the grill with just the salt and pepper the other day, but you're right. I really got to get a bottle just for the mushrooms alone. I can
Just for
imagine
the
it. So
mushrooms.
that's
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
So tell me a little bit more, like what are some of the challenges you faced while trying to build the W Sauce business and the physician in the kitchen sort of plant-based empire that you're creating?
Time management definitely is one. As I mentioned, I
Hmm.
do work full time for someone else right now,
Yeah.
and so and building a company or business from scratch is it's a full time job. I
Yeah.
mean, and I have help. I have a virtual assistant. I have a social media manager because there's no way. Like if I had to do all of that stuff, I would never get out of bed. Like it just
Hmm.
I would be too overwhelmed. But for me, the issue really is because it is small batch made, is being able to produce in bulk. And so my next hurdle or my next accomplishment that I'm going to claim is being able to scale it and work with a co-packer. That's something I really want to be able to do this year. Someone who's going to be true to my ingredients so
Hmm.
that I know that bottle after bottle after bottle is what I intended because my name is on that and I need for it to be, hit out of the park every time.
Yeah.
So those are kind of some of the big ones. So getting the funding for that, right? All that costs
Hmm.
money. And so and then being able to just really hit the ground running because I do want to I see this being on store shelves right there with the big boys one day.
Yeah.
So gotta get it out there for people to be able to ask for it and make that happen.
I see. And you have any inroads there? I was gonna say, how do you think you're gonna compete against some of the big players in this condiment space?
I think for me, being that I'm here in the Charlotte area, a lot of stuff is local now. People want locally made, locally sourced.
Hmm.
I was just watching some infomercial, and it was saying how, and again, a lot of this was bought by the pandemic. That the searches they do the geo trackers or whatever, and people are searching for things nearby, and then they're buying those things that are nearby. So
Hmm.
I think, and I'm fortunate to be in in an area that kind of straddles almost two states. So
Hmm.
there's that. And then I think once I just get that one, if I could get affiliated with a local grocery chain, I think would be helpful as well. Because again, if they're trying to promote local businesses, then that would give me a leg up, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think if we look back at our parents' generation, they were the ones that did have most local meats and local vegetables coming in, and we've strayed away from that. So
Yeah.
I can't stress enough the sustainability side of this has to come back around, and we do have to find ways to shop local and keep things local on all fronts. So What you're accepting is some people to help in some other major cities keep the recipe true to form and help build the W sauce empire. That'd be
That's
great.
right. That's
Yeah,
right. This is my other baby, right? My main baby is in college, so this is
that's
my
right.
new baby.
That's
And so
right.
you put something out there, you want it to be well received, and you want it to be, like you intended, and like I
Mhm.
said, batch after batch to really have that same flavor and impact that it's had from the beginning.
For sure. You talked a little bit about the cost and stuff. So, how much does the bottle cost? And obviously, we can get it off the website and stuff, right? So, what is the website?
So
Where does it? How much does it cost?
So the price right now is $15 a bottle. It's for a 10-ounce bottle.
Hmm.
And it's my website is physicianinthekitchen.net, and that's my store.
Hmm.
And so but you can also I'm on Instagram, all social media, you can always message me. Because again, because it is by making it myself, they're pretty much made to order. So like when you
Hmm.
order a bottle, it's made that day or the next couple of days and shipped out to you. And we're actually in the process right now of kind of tweaking, because it is an acidified product. There are I do have to use a little bit of a preservative, but I'm using a naturally occurring preservative.
Okay.
And so we're just tweaking that to get that just right. And then, so reformulating, I guess what I'm saying is we're in the process of reformulating, but it won't affect the taste. It should not affect the taste at all. So
And that'll let
once
you
that's ready to
get
go.
on. Yeah, that'll get you on the store shelves and let it sit a little bit longer if needed on
Exactly.
that front.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so, when I say like, how do you? Wait, I lost my train of thought here. Sorry. Um, I guess the accessibility, like it's that balance between some of the high quality ingredients and making it affordable on that front is the I don't know off the top of my head. I have to say I would guess regular W sauce is $5 or $6 a bottle kind of a thing. So at scale you should be able to bring that cost down.
That definitely is my intention.
Yeah.
Because again, I this is something I think needs to be on the shelves because I have a lower sodium content. My product is good for people. I am a physician, so my product is good for people who have swelling issues, so like
Hmm.
kidney or heart or liver problems, anything that makes them kind of retain salt, or if they or high blood pressure, right? And they're just watching their salt intake. I myself have high blood pressure, so I read those labels, look for that
Hmm.
salt. So this is a product that will, even if you're not vegan, right? It's just if you are just a little more health conscious,
Yeah.
that's good for you. So yes, being able to buy ingredients, at cost, and again partner with someone who's kind of got the footprint, and I'm just coming in with the recipe, will definitely bring those costs down.
Yeah.
Also, too, mine is a little larger. My bottle is a little larger than some on the market.
Hmm.
Some of the vegan ones on the market are only about 7 or 8 ounces. So I do either will look to kind of fall more in line with them, but I kind of like being the outlier. I think
Yeah.
you get a little bit more for your money, and we'll look at that as well as we move forward. But um, I like having a few unique qualities and aspect, and how we bring all that in line with a lower
Hmm.
price point is really important.
Yeah, I mean, I took that plant-based certificate course through Cornell a few years back, and the standard American diet is just getting way too much salt everywhere you look. So, so
Yeah.
good to see such a low sodium product coming out that'll give you that great flavor and pop on that front. So, what advice do you have for some other plant-based businesses out there that might be tuning in and listening to us? How should they get into this space and how can they make a positive impact in the movement we're all against?
I would say, there's room for everybody at the table.
Hmm.
Don't think, because, there are about 3 or 4 vegan Worcestershire sauces on the market now,
Hmm.
but they don't have what I have.
Hmm.
And so there's room at the table for everyone. Identify a problem before your customers know they have the problem, and solve it for them,
Yeah.
right? And then I think if you do that, you define your niche, and you show them the value and what you bring to the table. I think you'll define. Be creative, and don't be afraid to partner and network, because if you've got a really bright light that can shine, but you hide it undercover, no one can see it, no one's gonna know. So, and I struggle with that myself. You got to always kind of pitch yourself. You should always be selling yourself, and I don't
Mhm.
always do that.
Yeah,
So I'm talking to myself a little bit here too. It's okay to brag on yourself. It's okay to say, "Hey, look, I've got this product. This is why you need to know about this because X, Y, and Z." And then you get people thinking and talking about your product. So
that's awesome. Well, that is kind of a wrap on the questions that I had. Is there anything you feel like we didn't touch on that we should for a moment? Otherwise, tell us again, where can we find you, more information about you, follow you, and where can we pick
yeah,
up some amazing W sauce?
yeah. So no, I think this was a great interview. I love the wide reaching questions. So I'm on all social media, physician in the kitchen, physician in the kitchen. I'm even on TikTok. Uh, Follow me, like all that stuff. My store is physicianinthekitchen.net. And again, you can, place orders on there. We do ask that you allow a few days just because again, I do make the batches myself, for shipping and all that. But I want to get the formulation, the reformulation down, and then we'll be letting people know when they can order it. But if you go to the website, you can go ahead and kind of get on the wait list. And then that way, once we've got the new product ready to go, you'll be one of the first to know.
That is awesome. Thank you again, Dr. Monique, for being on the show and helping us create
Sure.
a very amazing plant-based future. Really appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Brian, for having me. My pleasure.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Plant Based on Fire. We hope you enjoyed learning about the innovative plant-based businesses we featured today and got inspired to support them on their journey. Remember, plant-based eating isn't just a trend. It's a way of life that benefits your health, the environment, and animals. By choosing plant-based foods, you're making a positive impact on the world and helping to create a better and more compassionate future. If you want to join the Real Men Eat Plants community and get even more resources to help you go and stay plant-based, check out our blog, podcasts, and 30-day challenge at realmeneatplants.com. Thank you for tuning in to Plant Based on Fire, brought to you by Real Men Eat Plants. Head over to Apple Podcast and give us a review, and let us know what you think of this episode. Don't forget to tag us at Plant Based on Fire when you share this episode in your preferred social media. Wish to be a guest? We need to know about your plant-based business. Email us at pbof@realmeneatplants.com. We love hearing from our listeners. Thank you to our guests and to you, our listeners, for your support, and see you next time.